Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. In this video, we'll solve a few problems on the topic compound interest where you have to find the time. Since questions based on this topic are most frequently asked in competitive exams, it makes sense to understand the concept well. Questions are dealt with in this video along with clear explanations to make you understand the concept clearly. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications as soon as we post a new video. So let's start. The compound interest on rupees 30,000 at 7% per annum for a certain time is rupees 4,347. Find the time. Here you're given four options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now let's solve this problem using the formula method. So here it's given that principal is rupees 30,000. Compound interest for a certain time is rupees 4,347 and we have to find the time. Now we know that amount is equal to principal plus compound interest. So the amount here would be 30,000 plus 4,347, which is nothing but rupees 34,347. Rate of interest is given as 7% per annum and we are asked to find the time. Now since nothing is specified in the problem, we can assume that the interest is compounded annually. So when interest is compounded annually, the formula to find amount is A is equal to P multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power N. Now substituting all these values in the formula here, we get 34,347 is equal to 30,000 multiplied by 1 plus 7 by 100 raised to the power N. Now when we shift 30,000 to the left hand side, we get 34,347 divided by 30,000. Now here 100 multiplied by 1 is 100 plus 7 is 107. So you have 107 by 100 raised to the power n. Now since you have 107 by 100 raised to the power n, it would be easier to find the value of n if this fraction is either a square or cube of 107 by 100. Now as you can see here, 100 squared is 10,000, but here you have 30,000. But if you divide 30,000 by 3, you will get 10,000. So let's divide both the numerator and denominator by 3. We'll get 11,441 divided by 10,000 is equal to 107 by 100 raised to the power n. Now here you can see that 11,449 is nothing but 107 squared and 10,000 is nothing but 100 square. So now you have 107 by 100 square, 107 by 100 the whole square is equal to 107 by 100 raised to the power n. From this clearly you can see that n is equal to 2, which means time is 2 years. So the correct answer is option C, 2 years. Now other than the formula method, this problem can also be solved using the ratio method. Now let's solve this problem using the ratio method. Now here it's given that principal is rupees 30,000, compound interest is rupees 4,347. Now since amount is equal to principal plus compound interest, the amount here would be 30,000 plus 4,347, which is rupees 34,347. Rate of interest is given as 7% per annum and we are asked to find the time. Now since nothing is specified in the problem, we have to assume that the interest is compounded annually. Now let's start with the ratio method. Now the first thing that is to be done in the ratio method is to convert the rate of interest which is given in the percent form to its fraction form. So 7% is nothing but 7 by 100. Here the denominator 100 is the principal and the numerator 7 is the interest. Since amount is principal plus interest, we have amount is equal to 100 plus 7, which is 107. So here principal is 100 and amount is 107 for the ratio method. The next thing that is to be done here in the ratio method is to find the ratio of principal to amount. Now here, since the interest is compounded annually, it means that we have to find the ratio of principal to amount for each year. So here principal is to amount for the first year is 100 is to 107. But we do not know for how many years we have to find the ratio of principal is to amount, because we do not know the time here. But what we do know is that the principal is 30,000 and the amount is 34,347. So after n years, principal is to amount is 30,000 is to 34,347. Now we have to reduce these two numbers till we get a perfect square or a perfect cube. Now if we get a perfect square, it means that we have to find the principal is to amount for 2 years. If we get a perfect cube, then we have to find principal is to amount for 3 years. Now here, if you divide 30,000 by 3, you get 10,000, and 34,347 divided by 3 is 11,449. As you can see here, 10,000 is nothing but 100 squared and 11,449 is 107 squared. So on reducing the principal and the amount, we get perfect squares here. This means we have to find principal is to amount for 2 years. Now since the rate of interest is the same for all the years, if principal is to amount for the first year is 100 is to 107, then principal is to amount for the second year is also 100 is to 107. Next, on multiplying the principals of both the years, we get 100 multiplied by 100, we get 10,000. Similarly, on multiplying the amounts of both the years, we get 107 multiplied by 107, which is 11,449. So after 2 years, principal is to amount is 10,000 is to 11,449. Now if we multiply the principal 10,000 with 3, we get 30,000, which is the given principal. Similarly, 11,449 multiplied by 3 would give us 34,347, which is the amount. So clearly here time is 2 years. The correct answer is option C, 2 years. In how many years will rupees 80,000 amount to rupees 92,610 at 10% per annum compound interest being compounded semi-annually? Here you are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So let's solve this problem using the formula method. So here it's given that the principal is rupees 80,000, the amount is rupees 92,610, rate of interest is 10% per annum, and we are asked to find the time. It's given that interest is compounded semi-annually. Now, when interest is compounded semi-annually, the formula to find the amount is A is equal to P multiplied by 1 plus R by 2 divided by 100 raised to the power 2n. Now substituting all these values in the formula here, we get 92,610 is equal to 80,000 multiplied by 1 plus R by 2 is 10 by 2, which is 5. So we have 5 by 100 raised to the power 2n. Now if we shift this 80,000 to the left hand side, we get 92,610 divided by 80,000. Now here 100 multiplied by 1 is 100 plus 5 is 105. So you have 105 by 100 raised to the power 2n. Now 105 by 100 is nothing but 21 by 20. So now you have 92,610 divided by 80,000 is equal to 21 by 20 raised to the power 2n. Now it would be easy to find the value of n if this fraction here uh, was either a square or a cube of 21 by 20. Now we know that uh, 20 cubed is 8,000, but here you have 80,000. But if this 80,000 is divided by 10, we get 8,000. So let's divide both the numerator and the denominator of this fraction by 10. So now we get 9,261 divided by 8,000 is equal to 21 by 20 raised to the power 2n. As you can see here, 9,261 is nothing but 21 cubed and 8,000 is nothing but 20 cubed. So now you have 21 by 20 the whole cubed is equal to 21 by 20 raised to the power 2n. From this you can easily know that 2n is equal to 3, which means n is equal to 3 by 2 and 3 by 2 is nothing but 1.5. So time is 1.5 years. So the correct answer is option B, 1.5 years. Now other than the formula method, this problem can also be solved using the ratio method. Let's now solve this problem by the shortcut method using the ratio method. So here it's given that the principal is rupees 80,000. Amount is rupees 92,610. Rate of interest is 10% per annum. And we have to find the time. It's also given that interest is compounded semi-annually. Now we know that there are 2 half years in a year. So if the rate of interest for 1 year is 10%, then the rate of interest for each half year would be 10 by 2, that is 5%. So rate of interest for each half year is 5%. Now let's convert the rate of interest for each half year, which is given in the percentage form, to its fractional form. So 5% is nothing but 5 by 100, which on simplification gives us 1 by 20. The denominator 20 here is the principal and the numerator 1 is the interest. So the amount here would be 20 plus 1, which is 21. So if the principal for each half year is 20, then the amount for each half year would be 21. So now we have principal is to amount for the first half year as 20 is to 21. But we do not know for how many half years we have to calculate the ratio of principal to amount, since time is not given. But what we do know is principal is rupees 80,000 and amount is rupees 92,610, which means after n years, principal is to amount is 80,000 is to 92,610. Now what we have to do is to reduce these two numbers till we get either perfect squares or perfect cubes. If we get perfect squares, then it means that we have to find principal is to amount for 2 half years. If we get perfect cubes, then it means that we have to find principal is to amount for 3 half years. So now we have, after n years, principal is to amount is 80,000 is to 92,610. Now dividing both these numbers by 10, we get 8000 is to 9261. Clearly here you can see that both these numbers are perfect cubes. 8000 is nothing but 20 cubed, 9261 is nothing but 21 cubed. So now we know that we have to find the principal amount for 3 half years. Now since rate of interest is given as 5% for each half year, it means that the rate of interest is the same for each half year, which clearly means that the principal is the same for each half year, that is 20, and the amount also is the same for each half year, which is 21. So now we have principal is to amount for the first half year as 20 is to 21, principal is to amount for the second half year is 20 is to 21, and principal is to amount for the third half year is also 20 is to 21. Next, on multiplying the principals of the 3 half years, we get 20 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 20, which is 8000. On multiplying the amounts of the 3 half years, we have 21 multiplied by 21 multiplied by 21, which is 9261. So now we have principal is to amount after 3 half years, that is after 1.5 years, as 8000 is to 9261. Now clearly here you can see that 8000 multiplied by 10 is 80,000, which is the given principal. 9261 multiplied by 10 is 92,610, which is the given amount. So clearly here the time is 1.5 years. So the principal of rupees 80,000 will become rupees 92,610 at 10% per annum compound interest. The interest being compounded semi-annually in 1.5 years. So time is 1.5 years. The correct answer is option B, 1.5 years. What is the least number of complete years in which a sum of money put out at 20% compound interest will be more than doubled? You're given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now it's given here that the rate of interest is 20% per annum. You're asked to find the time. Now since nothing is specified in the question, you have to assume that the interest is compounded annually. Now the formula to find the amount when interest is compounded annually is A is equal to P multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power n. Now it's given in the question that a sum of money will be more than doubled. So the condition is the amount should be more than twice the principal, that is A should be greater than 2P. Now from the formula you know that A is nothing but P multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power n. So P multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power n is greater than 2P. Now we know it's given that rate of interest is 20. So now we have P multiplied by 1 plus 20 by 100 raised to the power n is greater than 2P. Now 100 multiplied by 1 is 100 plus 20 is 120. So we have 120 by 100, which on reducing gives us 6 by 5. So 6 by 5 raised to the power n is greater than 2, since this p and this p gets cancelled. So now we have 6 by 5 raised to the power n is greater than 2. Now this can happen if n is equal to 4. For any value of n less than 4, the value here will be less than 2. So let's now put the value of n as 4. So now we have 6 by 5 raised to the power 4. Now 6 raised to the power 4 is 1296. 5 raised to the power 4 is 625. 1296 divided by 625 is nothing but 2.07, which is definitely greater than 2. So now we know that n is equal to 4. That is, time is 4 years, so that sum of money will be more than doubled. So the least number of complete years in which a sum of money will be more than doubled is 4 years. The correct answer is option B, 4. Viewers, please go through this video till you have understood the concept. Practice more such problems to increase your speed and also to understand the concept clearly. Please do watch a video on compound interest for solved problems on finding the rate or time or amount when sum multiplies. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you.